The Honor Magic 6 Pro is a quality smartphone with a camera array built to make the case that it has the goods to be among the best. Honor is a spin-off of Huawei, which let the brand go in 2021 in a bid to evade US sanctions. Since then, Honor has carved out its own purpose and identity, including a current attempt to go public with an IPO. To make that case, it has to sell more phones. While its sales continue to grow in Asia, expansion in other markets continues, particularly in Europe, the Middle East, and Latin America, the latter of which is its fastest growing region. North America isn't there yet, but for those who live there can still get their hands on this one online. There are some innovative ideas in the Magic 6 Pro that we haven't seen in other smartphones, all of which help drive the device's impressive results. This phone has a premium look that could be divisive depending on your tastes. We like the faux leather back with its textured finish, and even our review unit's interesting green color grew on us after a while. The camera module is eye-catching, although not always in a good way. Every phone manufacturer tries to figure out what works best from an aesthetic and functional point of view. While we disagree with the sentiment that the lenses resemble the iPhone Pro models, they are certainly eye-catching. We're not particularly fond of the curved edges on the 6.8-inch, the 2800 by 1280 OLED, but we can appreciate its vivid and bright finish, hitting a peak brightness of 5000 nits for HDR content. Far too bright unless it's in broad sunlight. By default, the screen is also on the vivid setting, though switching it to normal doesn't take away from the screen's overall vibrancy. What's nice is you can change the color temperature to apply a warmer or cooler tone at all times. It's very much a premium phone beyond that, running on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor and an unusually large 5600 mAh battery. IP68 protection also means it can handle exposure to the elements without issue. The base model starts at 12GB of RAM and 256GB of storage, while the others going up to 16GB and 512GB. It has a dual SIM tray and supports eSIMs for the global model sold outside China. Honor's a little cagey about the exact image sensors used for the Magic 6 Pro. Interestingly, the main 50-megapixel wide camera is a 27mm equivalent, making it tighter than most phones, which routinely stick to a 23mm or 24mm focal length. It's not a Type 1.0 sensor like other Chinese brands offer, but rather a Type 1 or 1.3-inch sensor that goes with a variable f1.4 to 2.0 aperture lens with optical image stabilization. Only Pro mode lets you manually adjust it, whereas the software adjusts it automatically in other modes. The 180-megapixel telephoto gets more attention in how Honor markets the device, which is unsurprising given the large number involved. It's a 68mm equivalent with f2.6 aperture periscope lens that optically stabilized and also happens to be the biggest sensor of any periscope camera on any phone to date. On screen, it translates to 2.5x optical zoom, but there's also a 5x zoom that utilizes the sensor's extra pixels to apply a crop factor without losing much in quality. Honor has yet to disclose whether it's using the Samsung ISOCELL HP3 sensor to hit such a high pixel count, but it's very likely given the sensor's size. Rounding things out is the 50-megapixel ultra-wide on a 2.88-inch sensor with f2.0 aperture, which also doubles as a macro camera with a 4cm distance. Compared to other Chinese mobile brands, Xiaomi, Vivo, and Oppo that partner with renowned photography brands like Leica, Zeiss, and Hasselblad, Honor doesn't offer the same integration because it has no collaborative partner. There is, however, a development heritage from the years under Huawei's banner that produces admirable results that are competitive with those brands. That includes innovative ideas on how to access settings or features. One of our favorites is how Honor's Magic OS overlay enables you to curate shortcuts for specific apps like the camera one. Hold down on the icon and drag it to reveal a folder with shortcuts to related actions. At the time of our review, we were limited to selfies, panoramas, video, and multi-video modes, without the option to choose among others when looking to change things up. We would have liked to see Pro or Night mode as options, but it feels a bit limiting as it is. It's a great idea though, and we hope to see evolve further across all brands. Some interesting tools are included within the camera interface. Honor offers 3 unique styles to choose from: natural, vivid, and authentic. And rather than being filtering gimmicks, they all add value to what kind of look you want in your compositions, with automatic HDR applying to all of them if you want to leave it on. Other unique settings include aperture mode, where you can adjust a virtual aperture on screen to control bokeh effects in an image for subjects up to 2 meters away. It differs from portrait mode in that it only lets you use the telephoto lens, has no HDR, and is perhaps perhaps more focused on capturing objects over people. You can still control bokeh and portrait, so they share that capability otherwise, only diverging the ancillary features involved respectively. Another thing we'll mention is motion sensing, a setting within the photo mode that helps capture movement, albeit with a focus on smiling, running, and jumping people, as well as cats and dogs. There's an AI element to this called auto capture that triggers the shutter on its own when it detects certain movements, though you can also turn that off and just snap the photo manually. All told, this is Honor's way of tackling movement, which inevitably ramps up ISO to go with the high shutter speeds necessary to freeze action, albeit with mixed results. It doesn't take too long to notice the Magic 6 Pro can take excellent shots, with the odd caveat here and there. The good news is the software doesn't heavily process shots off the bat, especially when you offer the authentic style above the two, so long as you leave AI photography off to get the best results. Dynamic range and exposure hold steady in most cases, never truly wearing off into access, though night mode can sometimes brighten shadows more than necessary. It's easy to like a phone with a brilliant display and some of the best battery life around, both of which the Magic 6 Pro has in spades. The cameras come off like an improved performance that doesn't entirely hit the mark in all areas, only still impresses with more than a hint of optimism. There are wrinkles to smooth out for sure, yet plenty to like about how the cameras work. Among Chinese brands pushing the mobile photography envelope, the Xiaomi 14 Ultra certainly stands out as a highly effective option. It's perhaps the deepest camera feature set available on any phone to date, and proves a marked improvement on the video side as well. And if you deem it too expensive, you get a lot of value from the Xiaomi 14 as an alternative. The Vivo X100 Pro is another stellar choice for the sheer volume of features and results, not least of which is the excellent way it handles exposed light sources and reflections. Closer to home in North America, the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra and Google Pixel 8 Pro are the leaders for Android devices, with the OnePlus 12 running much closer behind them than ever before. It's fast becoming a three-horse race with each iteration between them. The iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max remain the best choices for Apple users sticking with iOS. It's definitely worth considering buying, however. The Honor Magic 6 Pro costs about $1,100, cheaper than some of its flagship contemporaries, and on par or better than others offering the same memory and storage.